First of all, I just want to say thank you so much for having me on your program. And I'm so honored to be here. So Fikelephi Jackson is an author. I'm a mother. I'm a mother of 7 actually, and I'm happily married. I am also a broadcaster. I'm a motivational speaker, and I am the CEO and founder of Against All Odds Still Standing. But I'm also a co-founder of our radio station, which is called Oasis Universal Radio, where we aim to reach the unreachable. It's an online radio station. So briefly, in a nutshell, that's Fikelephi Jackson. I'm a survivor of so many things. I'm a survivor of domestic violence. Things happened to me at a very tender age. I was born in a small village, and the village was so remote. Probably in Malawi, you could compare it up north, maybe in Zuzu or Mkata Bay. You know, the places where nobody goes there, it's over there, you know. We used to see a bus like quarterly, you know, but you have to walk so many kilometers to where the bus is actually, where there is a little bit of life. So, but growing up, as I said, everything, I've put it in my book. Against All Odds, I Survived. It's a book that carries a message of hope, a message of forgiveness, a message of redemption, a message of restoration. The book really says it all. Against all odds, you too can stand. So because of that background, I have a passion for girl child. When I became a teenager, war broke up in the country of Zimbabwe, and I left the country because my dad died as a result of the war. He was very much involved, and this was during apartheid, and I think Zimbabwe was still called Rhodesia. As a result of that, I thought, well, he's died and he didn't finish the work. So I wanted to finish the work because I thought, well, this freedom must be so important that my daddy has died as a result. So I thought, you know what, I'll go to war. But I was only a little girl, and the rest is in the book, as I said. But when I came out after the war, that's when obviously I got myself involved with the father of my children, where I experienced very, very deep, painful stuff, which are all encapsulated in the book. But then I realized when things got really very deep, when I hit rock bottom, I became suicidal. And I thought, if there is a person who made me there, he must hate me so much. I called him the man upstairs, and that was God. I thought, well, he took away my father and my grandmother who brought me up, he took him out. So all those things coupled together really, really made me think, well, there is no need to live again. But do you know what? Things turned around because God showed up. I am not ashamed to declare, you know, publicly that I am a Christian. I found my purpose through pain. Yeah, very deep. So it's that when I turned around, I asked him, the man upstairs, I said, well, at that point, my life was written off. Yeah, I mean, I had 3 children outside wedlock, you know, being beaten up. Come on, you know, who wants to talk about that, you know? So I asked him, I said, look, if you can turn this despised, this rubbish, you know, around, I promise you, I will go back to whoever you've created me to reach. I will reach them. Wherever they are in the mountains, I will reach them. in the valleys, I will reach them. Hence our radio, we say we are reaching the unreachable. So by air, we reach them. So really the message is clear. Against all odds, you too can stand. Yeah. Wow, do you know what? One of the major things that God did for me in restoring my life, He allowed me to meet the greatest man I know on earth, and that's my husband. I've known him for over 25 years, and this gentleman, his support and my children, oh my goodness. So because of my family support, I'm able to actually balance things as it were. They know which days I'm doing what, but I also have a very healthy life at home. So my family is happy to share me with the world, and with girl child in Malawi, with girl child in Zimbabwe, and with girl child and the women in Zambia. Wow, so in Malawi, we have, maybe it's worth mentioning, this year we are super excited because this year our motto is to equip, to educate, and to empower. So as I said in the beginning, so against all odds, still standing. Our aims to achieve three things. We aim to restore lives, to restore hope, and to restore dignity. So we do that three things, which is education, health, and social development. With that said, obviously, hence our students, that's the education side of things. And we aim at the secondary school from Form 1 to Form 4. So this is our 5th year here in Malawi. We take our students from Form 1 to Form 4, as I said. We pay the school fees directly to the schools. With the women's side, because we've known what the women in Malawi are looking for, we know that as women, we are not looking for handouts, but we are saying, don't give me fish, teach me how to fish. So we have bought our women in Chikwawa and Nchewu sewing machines, but we realize that it's not all of them that like sewing. Some of them like to plait hair, but we've got startup little business startup to give them so that they can start making money for themselves. So with that said, we also have a different category of women that we focus on. The women who are living positively. Remember, we are talking about girl child. So this woman was the girl child who's troubled already. So those who are HIV positive, health-wise, we are saying, okay, in spite of your status, there's still more life for you. So we're bringing specialists who can empower our women, educate them. Oh my goodness, the highlights are major. So there's a young boy I keep talking about. His name is Mphatso Matthew. Mphatso Matthew was one of our boys, because 70% of our students are girls and 30% are boys. Mphatso Matthew was only 10 or so when I found him. He was cooking sima for himself. In the middle of the temperatures were about 42 degrees. I was like, baby, what are you doing? Where is mommy? Where is daddy? No mommy, no daddy. He's a double orphan. So when I found his story, it broke my heart. And I took on this boy. And after that, we took more boys with heartbreaking stories. But Mphatso Matthew aspires to be a journalist. When we took him on, his grades were very bad. But you know what? We've taken care of all his concerns. He was walking so many kilometers. He's got a bike alongside all our students that walk a long way. We've bought them bikes. So Mphatso Matthew is one of those beneficiaries. So now, this year, the highlight is that he's in the top class for maths. and he's doing well. He passed most of his subjects, and he wants to be a journalist. So me, I'm just saying, Malawi Broadcast Television, you have got an upcoming journalist who's going to be the top one here in Malawi. That's a big highlight. The second highlight is meeting Chief Kachinda Moto. Oh my goodness. We went to Teta. We spent time with this great woman. She cooked for us. But the end part of it is our long-term goal. We are going to build a school in Teta, because she's rescued over 2,000 girls and boys as well. So, but they are schooling under a tree. So we can't have that in 2017. So the long-term goal. So, you know, whoever is watching, maybe you are a construction, you know, let's get our hands dirty. The bricks and that, Chief Kachinda Moto says, Madam Fikelephi, no problem. The community, all of us, will build together. So we need a lot of, you know, roofs and things. So for me, that's my biggest highlight. And our women, just seeing them starting to blossom, you know, it's a great deal for us. Yeah. My positioning is very, very clear. You see, each one of us are created by God, and in God's eyes, we are all the same. We are all special, fearfully and wonderfully made by God. Now, with the question of domestic violence, my prayer is that we realize that we are not fighting the person, but there's a spirit behind that. So God loves the person, the perpetrator, but he hates what they do to inflict that kind of pain. I believe that in anything that goes wrong, human beings would sit down and talk. No one should use their hand to inflict pain to another human being. So really, this topic is very, very hot on our agenda, but we do it with love. We are saying to our brothers, our mothers, you know, it might have gone on for so long. We are all guilty as charged in the continent for not discussing this situation. So when we get people like Chief Kachinda Moto, who's saying boldly, I address these issues, for me, we are singing the same song. So this is a great song to say, please, let's change so that the next generation will really have a peaceful life and we can leave a legacy for our children here in the continent that says, here in Africa, we love each other, we embrace diversity, and our children, our girls are taught in schools and they get married at the right time. Not at 13, not at 10 years old. That child should be in school so she can be a better mother. This is why I love Chief Kachinda Moto, because we are aware that these things are connected to culture, to traditions, things that happens. You know, take for instance the hyena. I'm sure maybe in those days, this situation was, I don't know how they contained it, because when you think of HIV, STD, really, would the hyena do that to their own child? Absolutely not. So we are saying all together as a people, in my culture we call it Ubuntu. You know, when you have Ubuntu, it's more like, there are certain things which we look and say, my grandmother taught me that you smell your own armpits and think, now I need to clean this up. I believe that this is time now for us to reason with the chiefs, with the traditions and say, please, we ask you in peace, can we have our girls in school, please? Our long-term vision, I think I've spelled it out, is to ensure that girl child is safe, that girl child is recognized as a future mother of the presidents, or, you know, UN ambassadors, or future presidents of the Western, you know, we have Obama. We know that his origin really is not in America. So now we want girl child to be safe. When she's trying to go to school, we want her innocence to be preserved for her husband when that time comes. But she needs to go to school first. So because of that, on a long term, yes, we intend to build a school in Teta by God's grace. And we have already been given land in Nchewu district. With that land, we intend to build women's empowerment centers, to empower our women. So on a long term, really, we just want to see the statistics that we have on paper. At the moment, out of 6 boys going through a higher education in Malawi, only 1 goes through all the way. This is a big concern. So these statistics need to change. So we would love to see at least out of 6 boys going through to school, why not 5 girls to go through to school? So that girl child as well comes up. Do you know what? Against all odds, we believe in small beginnings. So when we began this vision, we really, I remember my first trip to Malawi, 2013. All I had was my book and a big vision and about 7 suitcases full of donations. And you know what? We made up our minds. We met up with the government of Malawi. We met Dr. Shawa. We asked her, what do we need to be able to operate here in Malawi? She advised us accordingly. We need to be registered as an NGO in Malawi, which we have done. So we've complied with everything. With that, we've slowly gone back to the diaspora and said, guys, we have a situation in Africa. We need your help. So at the moment, we have great men and women in the diaspora who support us. So some pick 5 students, some pick 1 student. So every little is going somewhere. But the greatest news is that the big organizations now are starting to say, well, we want to help you, but they want a proper structure. What do we want to do? So like now, as we speak, they are waiting for us. This great news from Chief Kachinda Moto is the biggest for us. So we are going back to do all our proposal to say, hey, we've got the land, we've got the, the manpower. Chief Kachinda Moto said, no problem with manpower. So we are ready. So in case there's any, donor watching right now, if you are here in Malawi, the bank, and what are they called, NBZ, or, I don't know the names, but guys, we are here. You can check our track record for the past 5 years. We've not let down our students. We need your help. Yeah, we need your help. So yeah, we are, with those new projects of the building projects, we are really hoping that we are ready now. It would have been prematurely, I think, to be given lots of money back in 2013, because it would have been like, okay, what do I do with that? But now, with the experience we have, we believe we are ready for our next level, which is to build the schools. Yeah. I get asked back even in the UK, on TV, on the radio, listen, how do you measure any success or any legacy? I don't think it's about how much money one has. I don't think it's about how many cars you own or how many houses you have. For me, what I would like to leave behind is how many lives have been transformed through Against All Odds. How many girl child can say, I'm a doctor today because Against All Odds came and found me. I'm today together with my students, some of our students from Zingwangwa Secondary School. They've been with me and they are waiting outside. One of them wrote a poem. That poem is going to be on our website because I don't know how this child knows that's our heart. But when she recited the poem, I had tears in my eyes. So yeah, it's going to be how many girls, how many women are entrepreneurs as a result. How many people have been inspired through, if someone is suicidal, right now watching me, I'm saying, hello, I nearly killed myself. Had I done that, I would have deprived all these lives that we, I just, it's that encouragement of people knowing that they are not an afterthought in the mind of God, that God has a plan and a purpose for their lives. That's the kind of legacy I would like to leave behind.